Welcome to Bill Bendick Field in Hammonton, New Jersey on this October 6, 2018 for the game between Vineland High School's Fighting Clan, who are 2-3, and the St. Joe Wildcats, who is 4-1. My name is John Perentazzi. I'm your color commentator, along with my partner Rich Scarpa, who will do the play-by-play, and one of the most prepared person you'll ever see at a football game. And Rich, before I turn it over to you, I got to tell you, this is killing me. That sausage and pepper smell is fantastic. Rich?
Well, Coach, we're at the right spot on the right day here today for St. Joe's, one of the parochial powerhouses. St. Joe's is coached by Paul Sacco, as Coach mentioned, comes in 4-1 and ranked number 3 in South Jersey. They were ranked number 1 until they were upset last week by a very game Haddonfield team. St. Joe's has 39 playoff appearances, has made the finals 34 times with 26 titles, and they're 50-13, winning about 80% of their playoff games. So this is a school steep in tradition, a small parochial school, but really big on the football side. As we talk more about this game, we'll get into what really paces the offense for St. Joe's, and that's that offensive line and running back Jada Byers. But before we get into that, we have the captains out on the field, and let's thank our sponsors who make all this possible.
The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football team this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caters, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, The Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, Technid Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begel University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richling Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Torrisi Petroleum Transporters, Bondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating and Cooling,
Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating.
The Vineland High School football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season.
Vineland's captains for today were Ryan Shelton, Tyreen Powell, Anthony Reyes, and Mike Bachma. They won the coin toss and elected to defer to the second half, so Vineland will be kicking off to St. Joe's, and right now we're going to have our national anthem in a moment. See what I can sneak in before that happens. This is a Continental Conference of the West Jersey League. St. Joe's out on top at 2-1. Vineland 1-1 in conference play. A win here today will knot everything up at the top. Vineland won their conference last year, and now they've moved to a new one and trying to do that once again for the second time in a row. Last time we were here was 2015, where Vineland took a 6-0 halftime lead. And with the second half ended up being all St. Joe's as a 29-6 final in that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your 2018.
And St. Joe's has already played Millville this year and beat Millville 34-6. They've beaten St. Augustine Prep 30-8 and Atlantic City 56-0 before last week's 22-15 loss to Haddonfield. In your quarterback rankings in the Old Cape, it's Jaden Chantel, the quarterback, who has only thrown 23 times this year, but he is the most efficient passer with 264 yards. Ryan Shelton, 54 for 93 for 640 yards. Well, it looks like that national anthem is going to be a ways off there, Coach.
Yeah, Rich, the field's in pretty good shape on this misty rain we have, and it's probably the best I've seen St. Joe's field in years. I mean, the grass is well cut, and there are no mud spots on the field where there was before. And this is the old Hammonton field where Hammonton High School played their games. And, you know, it's been the home of St. Joe for quite a number of years now. And they've really dominated teams on this field.
It's more of a traditional Saturday night, or excuse me, Saturday afternoon setting here. St. Joe's plays their home games in the afternoon. But looking at what St. Joe's is going to bring to the table, it's a big, aggressive offensive line. Approximately 6'2", 270 across the front. One of the advantages Vineland will have to combat that is they're only putting 3 guys with their hand in the dirt down there. So their speed of their linebackers avoiding blocks is going to be key to try to shut down Byers, the Old Cape's leading rusher with 890 yards and averaging over 9 yards a carry. In that ranking, Shelton comes in number 9 with 326, averaging 5.6. And here's our national anthem. It is time for some football. As we mentioned, Jada Byers leading the way in rushing, and he's the number 1 rushing touchdowns with 15. St. Joe's as a team is number 1 with 21. For Vineland, kind of mixing the run and the pass, but today looks like a game to pass on. One thing we saw last week that St. Joe's is going to have to clean up was their defensive backs and coverage. 3 of the first 4 plays that Haddonfield had, they had the receivers deep and open, just not able to connect. And St. Joe's also averaging 37.4 points a game. So it's a high-powered rushing attack versus a defense that really hasn't gotten the credit it deserves, as Vineland's defense has faced horrible field position with the inefficiency and turnovers of the offense at times. That ship got righted last week as Vineland got out to a 20-0 lead over Trenton Central, and they look to build on that here. So Vineland the kick. It's number 3 Byers and number 6 Nate Johnson, the running backs, back to return the kick. So you mentioned Byers as in his rushing. We also have Nate Johnson coming in at number 12 in the Old Cape with 292 yards, but averaging 8.3 a carry. Nazir Broom at number 16 at 248 yards. And Ahmad Ross of St. Joe's has 279 yards and is number 14, averaging 5.5. So here we are ready to go. 12 minutes on the clock in the first quarter. Robert Aparicio to kick, and he just pops a short fly ball that's going to get fielded by Byers right at the 10. Looking for somewhere to go. Makes a move to the outside. Breaks a couple tackles. Still on his feet before he's brought down at the 43.
Jada Byers with the kick return for St. Joe's.
Looks like we have a player down on the field.
To about the 39-yard line, and that's where your St. Joe Wildcats offense will set up.
Junior offensive lineman Stephen Omrod appears to be down on the Vineland sideline. But great starting field position for St. Joe's Wildcats. For that Vineland defense starting today is senior nose tackle number 50, George Robinson. Senior defensive tackle number 55, Jameer Malloy. Sophomore defensive tackle 73, DeMarcus Rivers. Then our host of linebackers, 81, Conrad Jackson. 7, Isaiah Blakely. 33, Phil Blackwell. Making his second start of the year, 56, J.J. Delgado off a 2-sack, 9-tackle performance last week. Sophomore Lathan Kent, number 30. Defensive backs, Nazir Broom, Nashawn Gregory, 22, Tyreen Powell, and senior captain linebacker, 84, Anthony Reyes, who each week just gets better and better as the cast is removed, his thumb's moving. Last week got a few catches at tight end also. So Reyes back, and you can just see more of an aggression from Reyes on the defensive side as he's attacking much more freely and being able to use both hands.
Rich, the young man who was hurt is Amrad Stephen. He's a linebacker and guard. He's a junior, and he seems to be having real difficulty putting weight on his ankle.
Yeah, so they're going to give him a ride back to the sideline and to the trainers to get worked on. Bit of an upset as Millville has righted their ship. Last night, Millville 42-20 over Timber Creek, and that was Millville quarterback Jamison throwing for over 300 yards, something Millville hasn't done earlier. 1st and 10. There's a gift to Byers over the top. He breaks a tackle. He's in the open. Powell trying to track him down. And does, but not before Byers rips off a big gain into the Vineland 18-yard line.
He carries it into Vineland territory down to the 16-yard line where the Wildcats will set up. 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line.
Rich, they run that jet sweep very well. When that man goes in motion, they overload that side, and they just got more blockers than we got defensive people there.
Shurtell breaks the huddle. It's Byers out in the slot. Ahmad Ross right alongside. And they give to Ross in the middle, and he's hit. Continues to drive before the Vineland defense makes the stop. Short gain on the play. Rivers and Delgado in with some other Vineland defenders. To thank our crew today, today's crew, Tanner Bushman, crew chiefs, Doug Deal and Ryan Steinbaum, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Missouri, the school district's public information officer.
Rich, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us wide, just like we said last week when Trenton Central went wide all day.
And there's a jet sweep to the top. Decent blocking, making a cut to the middle. Big positive yards, going to set up a 3rd and short.
We just don't turn anything in, Rich. You got to turn that play in.
Well, if there's one spot teams have been able to gain leverage, it is on that outside wing. As last week, a couple big plays as the edge collapsed for Vineland.
You cannot let somebody get outside and contain it. Because now once they get outside, they cut it up, they got yardage.
This time under center. Byers comes across. And a dive in the middle is going to have enough for the 1st down.
Carried by number 2, Ahmad Ross, and he picks up another Wildcat 1st down.
So St. Joe's quickly down the field, 9 minutes, 40 seconds and running in the 1st quarter. 1st and goal from the 7. There's the give. Eluding pressure. Byers on the outside. Held by his shirt. Spins back on his feet. Swarmed over and dropped finally by Powell up high. But it was Barry Turner down low after the initial stop Byers spins back, and he's going to lose a handful of yards on that one. Great pursuit by the Vineland defense.
Wow.
Boy, number 9, Barry Turner, just getting in some reps in the defensive backfield and getting that starting job, and he's done nothing but excel. Last week, I believe, was 3rd on the team in tackles and even had a sack.
Rich, it's been a long time since I've seen that kind of loss on a run. Usually you see that kind of loss on a sack. But that was a running play, and they lost, 18 yards?
Yeah, they're back at the 25. It's 2nd and goal from the 25. Vineland showing pressure in the top, and they run belly underneath and hit and drop again. Nice job on the inside as Bachma leads the way on that charge with Turner and Delgado cleaning it up. So 3rd and 25, 3rd and goal from the 25 as that goes for no gain.
Well, Rich, unless you got a kicker, this is 2-down territory. You got 2 shots to make it.
Well, Byers is in the slot on the bottom. I was thinking they may try to run a little jet to the wide side, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like it may be time to throw a pass. Plenty of protection. The ball just thrown to a dead zone as Blakely, the closest one to it's going to be 4th down. The Vineland defense really had a hard time getting their feet underneath them in the beginning of this drive, but that big loss of about, as Coach mentioned, 16, 18 yards as the rain starts to fall now.
Rich, no penalty, no roughing the passer. You got a lot of yardage. You got a good balance here to 25. Keep the ball in front of you and make the tackle. That's all you got to do.
Well, certainly looks like passing time here. As I mentioned, St. Joe's quarterback with just 24 attempts. He's looking. He's under pressure. He's running out to the sideline where he's hit and dropped finally by Reyes, but short gain. And Vineland's defense bent, but they do make the stop on the turnover on downs, and that Fighting Clan offense now taking the field. Looks like they're going to mark that right at the 25 where Vineland will take over.
1st and 10, Vineland from their own 25-yard line.
That's a pretty good stop, Rich.
Well, you had Byers make a nice return to around the 40. Then Byers with a big run. But forcing St. Joe's into passing situations is something you want to try to do, and that's easier said than done with the rushing attack that they have. Shelton's going to keep himself to the top. He's got some blocking. Cuts to the middle, drives forward. Looks like he's going to have right about 8 yards, 8 or 9. He may be closer to that 1st down than we thought, as the spot is going to be right at the 35.
Pretty good opening play, Rich. You got an unbalanced line to the left, so you got some blockers, and you got the back blocking. So,
well, Shelton goes for 10 as it is 1st down Vineland. Tyreen Powell tied for receiving yards down at the bottom. Here's the give over the middle and not much there. As the feet come out from underneath freshman Arthur, the running back. He's going to make it back to the line, and that's about it. Vineland once again going with their tempo offense. Did that last weekend to try to wear down the bigger lines. There's the pass to Powell. He's got a couple of guys in front of him. A little bit of a straight arm, another straight arm. Looks like he's going to have a 1st down right at midfield.
You got to use him, Rich.
Yeah, and we've used him a few different ways, and I like this way of using him. Tyreen Powell, the junior, at 6'4", 185. Tyford now has the team lead in receiving yards, but it was putting Powell on one side and then having your other receivers, so the safety has to come over and help. So it frees up the other guys as we've seen Tony, Arthur, and Otis Harrell get more involved in the passing game. But I think using him as a weapon instead of just to pull people is the way to go, as he has 2 defenders in front of him, still picks up a 1st down, 1st and 10 Fighting Clan. To run again, Shelton trying to get to the outside, spins and twists and short gain. Looks like it'll be about a yard.
Rich, most of the St. Joe players go both ways.
Most of them what, Coach?
They go both ways. You got Byers out there. You got Ross out there.
You've got the lineman out there.
You got the quarterback out there. You got everybody going both ways.
There's motion. Vineland tries to run jet sweep, but that's sniffed out right away by Ahmad Ross, the running back on the defensive side. Makes a tackle for loss.
Yeah, Ross played that beautifully, Rich. He came in wide and took everything to the inside.
Ahmad Ross, only a sophomore at 6 feet tall, 175. So third down, Fighting Clan right from their own 49. This tight end Reyes swings out wide. Shelton the throw. Complete. Needs to make a man miss and stay on his feet, and just not able to do it that time is Tony. He gets by the tackler, but he trips him up, and it's going to be fourth down and about 2. Vineland now in St. Joe's territory, and they're keeping the offense on the field. They're going to go for it here on 4th and 3. Looks like they're just trying to draw St. Joe's off. Now Shelton barking out signals, see if they just try to do that again. No, they're going to run it. And there's the give up the middle and busting through to the outside on his feet, dragging someone with him inside the 5. No flags on the field. Gutsy call by Coach Russo as Vineland's Broom takes a big gain of about 35 yards to set up first and goal, Fighting Clan.
Rich, I was going to tell you that's a heck of a gamble at this time of the game, but you know what? It paid off.
Yeah, you don't like to come into a game and say you're an underdog or you're a favorite, but in able to achieve, you're going to have to take chances like that against a program like St. Joe's, and the first one works out good for the Fighting Clan, first and goal. Shelton's going to take it himself. He's hit, finds a little hole to fall forward. He maybe picks up a half a yard or a yard. Maybe, oh, he actually lost a yard. So it's going to be second and goal.
Vineland loses a yard on the play.
Ball right at the 5-yard line.
Number 10, Shelton, will bring up second and goal.
Boy, nice blocking on that fourth down try.
Boy,
There
was it
a
ever.
big seam for
See,
Nazir
Rich, that's the
Ball.
idea of quick hitters. You go straight ahead. You try to go wide and everything, you better have some speed.
Comrade Jackson, number 81 at the bottom of the screen, had the receiving touchdown last week. Shelton to throw it. He's looking for Jackson, but Jackson's covered well. And a big sack on the play by Brad Lomax.
Both defense, Rich, are trying to goal line stand. Violent had theirs. Now St. Joe.
Well, Lomax makes the sack and a great play, but that one was going to Jackson, who had blanket coverage on him by quarterback Sherrill. Oh, and it's caught, ripped away from the defender, as that looked like it may have went the other way. And real close to the goal line here, it's going to be about the 2-yard line. So Henry Garton converted a 36-yard field goal a couple weeks ago. Let's see if Vineland's playing for 6 or playing for 2. It looks like they're going to keep the offense on. So fourth and goal from the 2-yard line, 3 minutes and running. Guess one of the reasons you don't try to kick here either is you want the more points, of course, but also with the rain coming down and misting and wet football, wet place, wet hold, wet kick, all that stuff doesn't work out really great. Shelton in the backfield alongside Nazir Broom. And the give to Broom. He looks like he's trying to push forward. Can they get a drive? Still moving. Does he fall in? Vineland's saying yes, and the officials are saying no. So the Wildcats stop Vineland inside the 1-yard line. So both offenses have first and goals and turn it over on downs. Defense is stepping up when they needed to. And the officials certainly let that play go on and didn't stop forward momentum as Vineland's offensive line tries to drag him over, but that size on the defensive side just stopped it short. First and 10 from the 1 for St. Joe's.
A lot of wide side this side, Rich.
They go through the middle just trying to get a little breathing room, and they get just that, about 2 or 3 on the play.
The carry by number 2, Lamont Ross, picks up some breathing room for the Wildcat offense.
I sure thought they would come wide side.
It'll be second
A
down
lot
and
of
6.
room on this side.
They're probably going to hit it this time, just trying to get their quarterback's heels out of the end zone. But they pick up about 4 on that. And it seems like our edge attack has to be our safeties coming up, as the backers aren't able to make the plays up in there.
Got to keep him inside, Rich. Don't let him get to the outside because his speed can hurt you.
Gregory, 23, locked up on the bottom in coverage. They try to pound up in the middle, and I think that's only going to be a yard. It's going to be 3rd and about 5. You know, and that's a problem, as you mentioned earlier, Coach. A lot of teams have had Vineland's interior trying to power through the A and B gaps. It's just very difficult. And that starts with nose tackle number 50, George Robinson, in there. I know
The
Vineland
teams that have
rotates
hurt
a
us
lot.
have all been outside. Look how Trenton Central came back. That quarterback ran outside the whole 4th quarter.
It's a big 3rd down play here for the Fighting Clan. They hope to get the ball back to their offense. You've got to identify where Byers is, make sure you follow him around. And trying to get wide. Makes a move to the inside. Reyes with a big hit. It looks like it's going to be a little short of a first down.
No,
Nope,
he stopped the clock.
Yeah, it is a first down. Saw the official put his hands like this, but it was enough for the first down. And just picking it up is Byers. Reyes with the hit.
Yeah.
Delgado with the hit. But Byers able to fall forward and pick up a big first down for the Wildcats as we're down under 30 seconds and running in this first quarter.
St. Joe called timeout, Rich.
St. Joe's takes a timeout. Byers was heading to the sideline. Looks like he's still going to stay there.
That's a
Well,
strange timeout.
Exciting first quarter as both teams march down the field and the defense is toughen up as they get down there. Vineland stopped at the 1.
That's a strange timeout with 26 seconds to go. Must be something Coach Sacco really wants to,
There's a light breeze, but it is blowing into the face of St. Joe's. And Byers stays on the sideline, so it wasn't. I hear Byers is going back in. That's most likely why he came out, and they wanted him on the field, so they used the timeout to get Byers back in.
Got to keep him down here, Rich.
Well, I have a feeling they're going to go to the other side in about 26, though, Coach. Little counter, hit and dropped. Again, nice job on the inside by Vine. Looks like Barry Turner hopping up from the bottom of that one along with Bachma.
Vineland penetrates the line of scrimmage. Hold Byers to a no gain and bring up second down and 10.
That should be it, Rich, first quarter.
That's going to do it. We've got one in the books. Nothing. Both teams with first and goal opportunities. Neither offense able to pop it in.
First quarter with the score tied at 0.
Well, Coach, how'd you like that first one? We didn't have many drives either way.
Well,
Both teams held on to it. One drive for Vineland, 2 for St. Joe's. St. Joe's in the middle of their second, only 4 plays into
Yeah,
it.
both drives took up the entire first quarter. So each team had the ball once. St. Joe got it back with 20-some seconds. So theoretically, they both had it twice. They both rode the length of the field to be stopped by each other's defense. And That's a sign of the defense waking up on both sides of the field.
Well, this is where you play a little field position here, and Vineland looking to be able to stop this drive while St. Joe's is still on their own end of the field.
Second and 10, Rich. It's a big play. You can't give them yardage to make that third down short yardage.
See, the one thing that happened in that first drive, St. Joe's had success getting to the outside in the middle, not too much for them. But the one time they tried to get to the outside, they end up losing about 16 yards.
Yeah.
So you're kind of trying to figure it out. I do think maybe a little bit more off tackle, not getting all the way out wide, cutting that jet sweep up or attacking right off tackle. And they have the big enough tackles to get their seal blocks. So this time 3 receivers with Byers in the backfield. It's a give to Byers. Delgado with the stop. Delgado and Reyes. Don't like to compare people, but we've watched Reyes play with a ferocity for years, whether he's at linebacker, defensive line, or back at linebacker. And Delgado, when they're almost like twins, so fast and aggressive to the football.
A pretty good play by them. I thought that hole opened up pretty good. Boy, they closed it down. Well, you're going to see what kind of arm this kid has now.
As I mentioned, coming in, 5 games, 20-some passes. So averaging just about 5 passes a game. Vineland's now has St. Joe's in the third down of
left,
passing here. And they're going to try to run draw up the middle. Breaking one tackle and held down by a shoestring as he almost busted that through. Just an outstanding tackle. I believe that was Gregory, 23, who just holds on. Gregory in his second start, the junior defensive back. Looked like Byers was going to pull his foot through that and
this
be
kid
okay.
in practice is kicking the ball constantly 35, 40 yards.
Back to receive for Vineland is number 22.
No penalty. Stay on side.
And Powell lets it roll down to the 38. We can remember that Lenape game where Vineland muffed a punt and set Lenape up for the score deciding touchdown. Vineland happy to get the football back. They stay off the kicker. They have the football. The defense made a stop, and Vineland takes over at the 37.
It's amazing, Rich, to see that many kids go both ways today.
Well, that's one disadvantage for this smaller school. Not as much to pull from. And if Vineland keeps running with tempo, that could work to their advantage. Shelton's going to throw it on first. He flips it out to the freshman Arthur, makes a move to the inside and dives forward, picks up about 6.
Pass complete from number 10, Shelton.
Boy, Shelton really gives you that dual threat as he's in the top 10 in rushing in the Old Cape. And passing attempts, completions, and yards, he's in the top 10 as a quarterback.
Rich, he's got quick feet. He may not be a speedster, but he's got quick feet.
Very smart football player in his first year at starting QB for Vineland. And he's going to throw it again. Now he tries to take off up the middle. He's got to tuck it away. Tucks it under his arm. He has the first down across the 50 to the 40. Stays on his feet, and he's nudged out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Shelton with his legs, his quick feet as coach calls him. Shelton gets a big gain. There's some life on the Vineland offense. That offensive line has a tough
Boy,
task.
he made a quick decision to run, too, Rich. One look, and he was gone.
29-yard line.
Left tackle 77, Dutra. Right guard 64, Shane Eckert. Right tackle, or left tackle 74, Brandon Anderson. Brandon Roldan at guard. They're really holding their own. And a little drive forward, short gain on the play. And of course, Bachma, the 4-year starter at center and senior captain and anchor on that line. Dutra, Eckert, Bachma, Roldan, and Anderson. And that was one of the question marks for Vineland coming in. A lot of turnover on the offensive line. Vineland's tempo has slowed. St. Joe's players have their hands on their hips. You want to keep it moving here. Shelton the throw. Whoa, turns and almost a great catch as that was released quick, but it falls incomplete to Tony. He was going to be short of the first down, but would have made it about a 3rd and 2. That one a little behind and just did an outstanding job to get his hands close to it. Tight end Reyes checks in.
Let's hear it for your St. Joe's defense.
Reyes is the kind of tight end, when he catches it, it takes a host of people to bring him down. He's a real horse. But St. Joe's inside backers have been sitting. They haven't been coming, and that doesn't open up that tight end dump that Vineland likes to run. Linebackers sit, pressure, floating it high and deep, and incomplete, intended for Otis Harold. So it's going to be 4th down. The ball on the 26, so Vineland will be going for it here. Not much to gain.
26, Vineland 4th and 7 from the St. Joe's 26-yard line. Let's hear it for your St. Joe's defense.
Offensive
Big
line
play
coach
here for
Sheffield
Vineland,
is signaling in some signals to the linemen.
Oh, he took Reyes out of the game.
Well, Vineland going with the extra wide receivers as Jackson checks in high up in the slot. Shelton ready. Shelton steps inside the pressure, looks to run, gets hit and spun down. He's going to be short of the first down, it appears.
And that stop will turn the ball over.
Vineland saying they have the first down. Well, they're going to measure for it as this is close enough.
Looks like they're going to measure.
Boy, it didn't look like he got that close, did it, Rich?
No, I was kind of sticking my head out of the booth, and tough to see where he actually goes out of bounds
he
with the
didn't make
players
it,
in
Rich.
front. Looks like the ball is just
He's going to be short.
over the yard line.
Yeah.
And St. Joe's does stop the Vineland drive. So Vineland marches and moves. St. Joe's takes back over at their own 26.
Rich, I think it's around the 21. I'm not sure.
Maybe right at the 20, Coach.
Yeah.
20-yard line.
1st and 10 Wildcats from their own 20-yard line.
Well, St. Joe's with another chance here. We're still at 0-0. 8:34 to go in the first half. Byers to the top of the screen. Tries to cut back in the middle. Great pursuit as Rivers turns him into Delgado. Byers is going to lose yards again. This time 2.
Ball carried by number 3, Jada Byers. Loses a couple yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 12 from the Wildcat 18-yard line.
Head coach Russo and defensive coordinator Cliff Smith with this defensive front has showed that, there's 5 really good offensive linemen there, but only 3 guys with their hand in the dirt, and it gets a little confusing where your pressure's coming for. Here's a reverse, and it's sniffed out by Delgado. Delgado had help from somebody. Tough for me to see who it was in there.
That's the old Holy Spirit waggle, Rich. They ran that. Holy Spirit ran that. And John Oberg told me how to stop it. When you have that guy cutting back down, tackle him. So he's got the ball or not, because he's blocking or carrying.
So 3rd and long. Last 3rd and long, they tried to run a draw to Byers. And if not for a Gregory shoestring tackle, he may have broke free for the first down. Now a host of receivers to the top. And they're going to throw it short and try to run to the marker. And Vineland's defense there, that drive's going to go for -1 yards for St. Joe's, as it is complete, but short of the first down. The Ross actually loses a yard.
Netted no gain. Bring up 4th down.
So Powell and Broom back to return this one. .630 in run. Good snap. Decent pressure up the middle.
Got to catch the ball,
Vineland will
Rich.
take
I don't
over
know
at
what
the
they're
30.
doing.
Great punt by number 51, Bobby Heinven.
They lost 15 to 18 yards by letting that ball hit.
But we also lost a football game because we tried to fair catch one and dropped it. I feel like you're playing a team, a very quality team, and they're going to give you the football. I'll gladly lose those 10 yards instead of that turnover that pretty much cost us a football
You're
game.
right in that. But look how much back we're setting up. The coach has got to know how far this kid kicks.
I think the philosophy on the Vineland side is do not catch it. Don't catch it in the air. Don't fair catch it. If it bounces to you, great. If not, we'll just take the ball where it is. Shelton with a quick out to Powell. Stays on his feet, and he's going to be drug out of bounds right around the first down marker. We'll see where they're going to spot that.
Reception by number 22.
Looks like he's going to be about a yard short of the first down.
7, Jaden Shurtell. Pickup of 9 yards. They'll bring up 2nd down and 1.
Boy, Shelton really getting that ball out quick, coaching from
Yeah,
that
he
shotgun. I don't know that he can find the laces quick enough on some of these. He's going to throw it again. And they're saying incomplete.
You know me, Rich. When you got 2nd and 1, you got 2 cracks in 1 yard. You got to get it.
Vineland at their own 33-yard line.
Running back Arthur in the backfield.
Now, see, I don't like that either. I don't like the freshman back here. I like Broom.
Let's see what Vineland's going to try to do at 3rd and 1. Vineland just gets the playoff. It's thrown and complete for the first down.
Shelton throws complete.
Shelton gets rid of it quickly to the far side, and Powell picks up another one.
That's enough for a Vineland first down.
Tyreen Powell, the junior, the
41-yard
first player with a scholarship offer from Temple. Not the first from Temple, but the first on this year's team to receive an offer. And he received that in his sophomore year, 6'4" and fast. Shelton, little in confusion, comes forward, is going to lose a couple.
Powell on the keeper. Shelton on the keeper.
I think Shelton was looking for his back to be in a different spot.
Made by number 2, Ahmad Ross.
They're going to work that out, but Ross makes a tackle for loss.
Looked like he wanted to hand the ball to Broom.
It almost looked like your old option
Oh,
play,
yeah.
Coach.
I thought
was
it was
getting
DeVere
excited.
being run again.
Under 5 minutes to go. Reyes squares in, but Shelton under pressure. Floats it. Powell tiptoes the sideline. Looks like he's going to have the first down. Another completion to Powell.
Number 10, Shelton completes the pass. Number 22, Powell.
Boy, I like that, Rich.
Just enough for another Vineland first down.
You sprint right, your receivers go right to the sideline. You can't beat that play. Right to the marker. The old marker pit. Boom.
And you're putting the defense in a predicament here. If they may try to press up and empty out some of the support on the inside. Now this time it's Broom alongside Shelton. See if they give to him. And they fake, and Shelton takes it himself. Dives forward for a gain of about 1.
You know what the best part of this whole game, Rich? Take a wild guess. See if you. There've been no flags.
Yes.
Letting them play football.
Word up in the booth is that you put a jinx on us, Coach. On everybody.
I haven't seen that yellow thing go in the air once.
Powell and Tony out wide to the bottom. Shelton gives this time, and Broom stays on his feet momentarily. Nice tackle on the play by Durant.
You know they're coming,
Lomax, I
Rich,
had a
right?
62, huh?
You know they're coming on the blitz on this.
As quick as he's getting it out, I don't know that the blitz is going to get there, and he's been throwing to his right.
Look, they're double teaming Powell now. They got over and under. See 11?
And
He's the under coverage.
Powell's probably away from the side that they're going to throw. Pressure on Shelton. He's got to get rid of it. Floats it. Incomplete.
Oh, look for the yellow flag. No, good.
So 4th down. Vineland on the St. Joe's 46. A late flag.
A late flag?
I think that grounding flag is possibly the call.
Illegal receiver downfield, Rich.
Penalty is against Vineland. They'll bring up 4th and long.
Can you have a illegal guy downfield if the ball
If
is
the
past,
ball
past
is
the line of
passed
scrimmage?
over the line of scrimmage,
I
you
don't-
can't.
I'm not sure that I didn't know exactly where to spot, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure that
That
one made it
pass
to
was
the
past the
line.
line
Oh, it
of
was, all
scrimmage.
right. So Vineland to punt. Big loss on that play.
Back to receive. Number 3, Jada Byers.
And Schnell in to kick.
Vineland called timeout.
And Vineland's going to take a timeout with 3:29 to go.
Timeout taken by Vineland. That's the
Officially 4th and 24 from their own 36.
Don't forget to visit the snack stand and don't forget to buy your 50.
Well, quick moving, exciting first half, Coach.
These teams only had the ball 3 times. They both have had drives. A pretty well played game so far, Rich. I jinxed them. I said no flags. Guess the first
Yeah.
flag came.
On that play, we won it a little early. Not that Shelton was late hit or illegally hit, but you wouldn't mind a mistake by an official to help you out a little bit. But the flag comes late on an eligible receiver downfield call. Moves
Moves
Vineland back
deep.
really far instead of punting from their 45 and trying to.
Byers is deep. I'd be kicking that ball over here, Rich.
Kick it right over towards us, Coach, and out of bounds. It's a line drive. And they'll take that at the 40. You know, risk versus reward. You have one of the fastest players in South Jersey with a whole lot of space in front of him. Kind of like the chances of asking my defense to make one more stop, as the defense has just gotten better and better as this half has gone on. It was St. Joe's with an early drive down the field, and since then, not much clicking on offense, and it's been some short tackling and gang tackling by the Vineland defense. St. Joe's last drive goes for negative yards. But it's all for naught if you can't keep St. Joe's off the board here late in the first half. 3:25 to go. Byers is the one in motion. He clears the quarterback. And it's waggle pass. They knock down the fullback. Complete but out of bounds. Either way, it's right at the marker, so it's going to be second and about 10.
That's the first time I saw him under the center, Rich.
Well, Coach, you're talking about waggle pass, and I watched the back come through, and sure enough, he got tackled right up at the line of scrimmage. It really took that short outlet away and just left him under pressure just to dump it to the sideline. 3:02 with the clock stopped, second and 10.
He was under center, Rich. He's been in shotgun the whole game. He went under center that time.
That's Jaden Shurtell, the quarterback.
He's back in the shotgun now.
Motion clears. Rounds up to throw again. Not much pressure, but good containment. Now Reyes in his face. Reyes can't make the tackle. Rivers comes. And incomplete, out of bounds as Byers makes the catch, but the pressure just forces the play out of bounds. 3rd and 10, and with those two incompletions, there's 2:55 on the clock. Vineland has 2 timeouts left, I believe, and they may get another shot with the football, but they need to hold here at 3rd and 10. Nice discipline by that defensive line. Rushes. Nobody jumping out of their lane or their containment rules.
Yeah, they flushed Sherrod out pretty good on that. They let him get out of the pocket.
Yeah, but nobody made a beeline. They kept their edge,
Yeah.
didn't let him roll where he could turn it up the field. So what appears to be another
under
passing
center
down
again,
under
Rich.
center. Look for Waggle to the bottom of the screen. Pressure by Reyes. Goes by. It's thrown. Oh, and the receiver stopped. The defender stopped. Neither one of them really could tell where that ball was going. As in good position was the defense till they stopped, and able to catch it and run in the end zone. If he kept running, was the receiver. So both guys have a little bit of a breakdown on that one, and it's 4th down, and with the incompletion, 2:50 to go, Vineland will be getting it back.
You got to move Powell up, Rich. You got a man in front of you.
Back deep to receive for Vineland.
Tyreen Powell back deep. High snap, floating snap, but kick away. And this
Gonna
one could
hit
hop
again.
to Powell. If it does, he's allowed to get it. And Vineland will take over at their 18.
Another great punt by Bobby Heinben.
So Vineland football, 2:40 to go.
Vineland will begin with the ball at their own 16-yard line.
Well, you have one of the most electric running backs and leading rusher in South Jersey that's been contained in the first half. Vineland's offense has had more success moving the ball on each of their drives. So right now you're saying Vineland, but it's just one play for Byers gets on the scoreboard. So let's see how aggressive Vineland wants to get here with Shelton, as always, in that shotgun. And he's going to throw. He's got Otis Harold breaking free with the completion at the 42-yard line. Otis Harold with a nice catch, finding the football. Beautiful pass by Powell with protection. Vineland on the move. The clock will start running again. It's 2:36, and once the down markers are ready, they'll start running at 2:35.
Boy, did Hal make a good adjustment on that throw. He had to stop and locate the football Great athletic play.
And Otis Harold's just been getting better and better with each week. Now going deep for Tyrene Powell. It's going to be floated incomplete as Coach Russo not able to haul that in on the sideline. Watch me roll my quarterback out and run this one, Coach.
What? Don't give St. Joe the ball.
That's
back,
why
Coach.
I'm rolling my quarterback out and he's keeping it. We'll make them burn a timeout if they want, or we'll be happy to get to half. But you another incompletion, and you're right back to where you were, but the team's flip-flop. St. Joe shouldn't be getting this football back any more in this half. Pressure. Sacked. Off the edge. Nice job on the play by Lomax. And it looks like St. Joe's will take a timeout now.
Timeout, St. Joe's.
2:01 on the clock.
Second left to go in the half.
Bad call, Rich. Yeah, 2 chances to run the ball, get the clock down. All right, St. Joe called a timeout.
Well, at least you would be able to get their offense back on the field without the
Or
timeouts.
do what they did. They try to get it all in 2 shots.
Of course, St. Joe's not as scary on offense when they're forced to throw the ball. It's not what they want to do. It's not what they came here to do. And that is an advantage for Vineland, as Vineland, even though they haven't run the ball today, they do have the ability to run the ball. They do have some rushers, and they have some receivers and passers, too.
Just don't turn the ball over here, Rich.
Let's hear for that St. Joe's defense. It's third
Quarterback
and
draw,
long.
Coach?
Huh?
Quarterback draw, or you're just giving the broom here?
Give it to Broom.
Keeping it on the ground, right? And the throw. Complete to Powell. He has to make some people miss. Doesn't, but gets forward for a gain of about 7. And St. Joe's forced to take that timeout. There's some confidence in your quarterback and receiver. 152. It's 4th down. And looks like Schnell will be in to kick.
St. Joe called their last time out, Rich.
And Schnell will be in to kick for Vineland. That drive started out with a 1st down completion, but the sack really put them out of down and distance. That was feasible.
I tell you, it's been a heck of a first half. A great high school game. Both teams playing solid football.
Well, you're going to be mad at me, Coach, but I'm kicking this ball right out of bounds.
The what?
I'm kicking this ball right out of bounds, and if it makes it to the 1st down marker, great.
Don't let Byers touch it.
That's exactly the case. Byers or anyone back there. You know, the defense has showed that they can make some plays, and you got to be able to trust them. I know for years as Vineland struggled and we're doing games, we couldn't wait for a punt to get one of our guys with some space and maybe make something happen. Yeah, Lomax's sack really derailed anything Vineland had going on that one. Now Byers is short. Don't get tempted to kick it over his head, because if it lands in play, he's still going to come up with it. It's a low snap. Schnell digs it out, gets it away, and out of bounds. Well past the 1st down marker, so that's a little plus on there. So one more time for the Vineland defense. No timeouts left for St. Joe's. 1:48 on the clock.
Their own 38-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line.
Quarterback Shurtell has thrown more in this one than he has in any previous game, and we're not even through the 1st half. Well, we had a great first half the last time we were here, walking into halftime with a 6-0 lead in 2015.
Rich, both teams should have scored.
Yeah.
Didn't.
I think if Vineland's third drive got down there, maybe they kick a field goal. But with that first one, you really want to get something going. Shurtell to pass. Reyes with pressure. Knocks the blocker into him. Thrown short, but caught. Open field tackle made. Wow, still on his feet, but still holding the leg as Broom. Really nice job by Keshawn Griffin staying on his feet. And he was tackled inbounds as a few people bounced off the upper half
Well,
of
he
Griffin.
didn't get out of bounds, Rich.
But it was Broom on the ankle, holding him in. Keshawn Griffin, 6'5", 220, and he's only a sophomore. 105 in running. Low snap, dug out by Shurtell. Throws complete and out of bounds. First down at the 50-yard line. The clock is stopped.
Lomax picks up the first down and gets out of bounds, stopping the clock with just under a minute to go.
It's nice to keep them inbounds, but most important to tackle them or get them out. You don't want somebody to try to keep you inbounds and not be able to come up with a tackle. It's been short tackling for Vineland in the first half. They need to continue this. St. Joe's, 57 seconds to go. Another pass. This one thrown complete. And breaking a couple tackles to the outside, staying on his feet, but he stepped out, which may be better than the extra 8 yards at the 25-yard line with 49 seconds to go.
Pass complete to number 6.
Nate Johnson on the reception, but it was the run after.
He picks up another Wildcat first down.
Bad play. First bad play they've had on defense, Rich. They had him cornered. They had 3 tacklers out there. You got to make the tackle. Again, how they beat us, they got wide.
Vineland's defensive line really widens out here. So they're trying to use some speed off the edge. And that's thrown and incomplete. Isaiah Blakely in coverage.
Pass is incomplete, intended for number 9, Cole Mercado.
45 seconds.
Bring up second down and 10.
I would be surprised St. Joe runs this ball.
5-yard line.
They got us spread out pretty good here.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, the defensive lines outside shade of the last guy down. They traditionally call that wide 9 as they've widened out, but pressure coming through the middle. Reyes tripped up, hit, thrown, incomplete. As Blackwell comes in after Reyes, looks, well, getting back up, good for him. Offensive lineman a little slow getting up. Third down and 10, 41 seconds to go. As Rivers checks out, Bachma comes in to nose, and Bachma's there to stop any kind of inside run. Reyes had a nice stunt going, but got chopped down at the line, able to crawl back up, but not able to get back into it in time. Third down here for the Wildcats, looking to get on the board with just 41 seconds to go in the first half. Quarterback Shurtell stands alongside Ahmad Ross. Shurtell has some time, floats it where nobody is.
That pass falls incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
Boy, there wasn't anybody within 20 yards as he sails it through the back of the end zone. Now it's 4th down.
Bring up a 4th and 10 for the Wildcats on the Vineland 25-yard line.
Big play here, Rich. Big play.
See if St. Joe's tries to get half of it early by pulling Vineland off. Once again, it's Ross alongside Shurtell. Shurtell to throw. He has time, floats it, tipped, and intercepted by Powell, who had to leave his feet for that one. So Vineland holds with 30 seconds to go. See if they'd be happy to kneel on it and get to halftime, or if they want to see if Shelton can connect with one of his receivers downfield. But the interception by 22 Tyreen Powell off the deflection. Shane Powell had to leave his feet, and you watch Powell run, it doesn't look like he's as quick as you think, but running a 4.6 40 and being 6'4" tall kind of mirrors Keshawn Griffin. Vineland tight, and they're going to kneel on it. And that's going to do it for a first half. We have nothing to nothing. Zeros across the board. Vineland's defense played a great first half. Both offensive moved early. Coach, take me through that before we get to halftime.
Yeah, Rich, in the first half, each team had the ball 5 times. There's nothing to talk about except the first 2 times each had them. St. Joe got the ball, went down to 1st and goal, and got knocked for a 15-yard loss, and on 4th and 25 gave up the ball. Vineland got the ball, drove all the way to 4th and 2 at the St. Joe 2, and were stopped cold at the 1. That was at the 2:31 mark. St. Joe got the ball in the first quarterback for the second time, went over into the second quarter, and neither team really mounted much. St. Joe just mounted a little drive down to the Vineland, I guess it was around the 20, and Vineland intercepted the ball to run the clock out. So, Rich, at the end of a good half of high school football,
it certainly was. I can't wait for the second. Once again, thanks to our crew, Tanner Bushman, crew chiefs Doug Deal and Ryan Steinbond. Executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Mascori, the school district's public information officer. And also, thanks to these sponsors. And we'll see you for the second half.
The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football team this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caters, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, The Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, Technid Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Bagel University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richland Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Torrisi Petroleum Transporters, Bondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating and Cooling,
Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating.
The Vineland High School football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season.
Welcome back to Bill Bendick Field here on October 6th, and the game between Vineland High School and St. Joe. If you like good high school football, before I turn it over to Rich, both teams play solid high school football, good tackling, some real good running, some passing, and it's a pleasure to see this kind of game being played again. The referees have stepped back and he let the kids play. 1 flag. I haven't seen that in years, Rich. 1 flag.
Boy, and just an outstanding half on both sides with their defense. You know, Vineland, let's talk about their offensive numbers. Vineland, Shelton, 9 carries for 31 yards. Arthur, 1 carry for 0 yards. Broome, 3 for 41. Tony, 2 for 0. Shelton, 9 of 15 passing for 98 yards. And receiving, Powell with 5 catches in that first half for 47. Also had an interception. Tony, 2 for 19. Arthur, 1 for 6. And Otis Howard, 1 for 26. Vineland will be getting the ball to start this second half. And if there's one thing you were alluding to earlier that may be a factor here, you have a lot of experience and tradition with St. Joe's, but you also have a lot of guys going both ways.
Oh, yeah.
They're rotating some of their linemen, but the rest of the guys, is that going to be a factor as we get later in the game? Earlier, Vineland went with tempo on offense, and I think it was being effective, and then slowed down near the end. The Vineland defense just maintaining their edge, not collapsing down, making sure tackles and gang tackles. Coach Cliff Smith's defense and Coach Russo's defense has really done an outstanding job. Stat numbers for St. Joe's not present, but at the end of the first quarter, Byers held to 26 yards and believe he's still under 35 yards, and that's just an outstanding job of gang tackling. Vineland's defense has forced St. Joe's to pass the ball more than they like, and that's going to work in Vineland's favor.
They made one bad play here, Rich, right in front of us on a screen pass. They had the young man boxed in, and they let him get away, and he ran for about 20 yards. And that scared me because I thought they were going to bust this on a scored end. But again, our defense buckled up, tied their shoelaces, went to work, and held them. And you know what? That's all you can ask. Don't make bad plays. If you miss a tackle, that's okay. But don't make bad plays like jumping offside or personal fouls. To me, they're bad plays.
Well, St. Joe's was able to get the edge on a big run by Byers in the first quarter, but Byers kind of lost yards after that with a big -12 run and then 2 more carries for minimal losses. But Vineland has secured their edge defense, and a couple times they made some hang on to a leg tackles that stopped it, but St. Joe's to kick to Vineland. It's a high but short kick. It's going to come down to Tony right at the 14-yard line. He looks for some blocking in the middle of the field, and he takes a wallop as he's dropped at the 24-yard line where Vineland will take over. Well, Shelton and Vineland mixing the run and the pass in the first half.
1st and 10 Vineland from their own
15 runs and 15 passes. You can't mix it any better. Vineland had success with that quick throws to the outside.
We got to run the ball, Rich. We got to be a little more successful with the run.
Arthur, the freshman, in the backfield. As Reyes and Harold flip-flop. Looks more like a running set here. Let's see if they give to the freshman, and they do. So he tries to pick his way to the top of the screen, puts his head down, picks up about 1.
See, Rich, I don't like – we talked about him at halftime. He's not a true runner. See how he gets to the outside? He's got to learn to cut it up. Once you get there, the only way you're going to gain yardage is to cut it up. Al Brown was fantastic at that. He'd get to that corner, never run for the sideline. Boy, he would turn it up.
Well, picked up a little more than I thought. Gain of 3 on the first down. Shelton to throw this time. Quick out to Powell, who leans forward and drags across the first down marker.
Boy, Powell's doing it. This is the best I've seen him play all year.
Offensively, for
He's
sure.
He's coming off the ball, stopping dead. It's a perfect hook pass. You got that back one, and they did throw deep once, so he's got to worry about the deep throw, too.
As we mentioned, Powell, the junior at 6'4", 185. He's always able to come forward and pick up a few more. Vineland with the first down. This time, it's Broom, but Shelton's going to take it himself. And he comes forward and picks up some positive yards. Looks like he's going to have just about 3.
Shelton, tackled by number 11, Eshawn Griffin.
Boy, as this season goes on, wins and losses aside, replacing a 4-year starter at quarterback in Rutgers Isaiah Pacheco, Shelton has done an outstanding job, as has Coach Russo and Volpe, changing this offense to more of a passing threat than we've seen. And Shelton's also done it with his legs, picking up big yards. Shelton has no one to throw to now, and he's hit. He spins free on his feet. He's looking to float it. Can he get it there? And what a great oh my gosh, improvisation. Am I right, Coach?
You got it.
Great communication between Nazir Broom and Shelton. Shelton wrapped up and done in the middle of the field. Stays on his feet. Broom sees it and sneaks forward. I don't know how he squared his shoulders to get that ball there.
You know, he looked like Wentz last year when he came out of that pileup. When they had Wentz, and he ducked under and got out.
I was looking to see where he was to know what the next down was going to be, but first down, Vineland on the move at the 35-yard line of the Wildcats. It's Broom in the backfield with Shelton. Shelton's going to throw. He's looking for Jackson. No, make that Reyes, who catches and completes it for another Vineland first down. Senior Anthony Reyes.
You know, he's on target to do something only one quarterback ever did, and that was Billy Bernhardt, threw for 1,000 yards one year. He could be the second quarterback because he's got 600 yards.
And we've got a lot of games to go too. Boy, you can't pin your ears back and go after him because the ball's coming out quick. It almost takes away your pressure. First down now. Arthur runs out to the flat. Whoa! Can he hold on? Almost. A bullet pass into coverage, but right to the receiver. But just too much on it. It's Namel, number 4, in there to make the stop.
Boy, it's become an aerial display, hasn't it, Rich, all of a sudden?
We got second down and 10 for Vineland.
And you can't even say the running game isn't going. It's just not been tried.
It's a little stagnant. How's that, Rich?
Well, we
Is that a
haven't.
good word?
We didn't attempt all too many.
It's a little stagnant right now.
And St. Joe's has a little bit of a breakdown as the Vineland line stays set. So after the first down incompletion, Vineland's going to pick up 5 on the offside by most of the linemen on St. Joe's.
Yeah, the whole right side came.
From the 19-yard line.
So Vineland in the red zone at the 19-yard line. They flip-flop Reyes and Otis Harold. Reyes in tight on the top. Oh, a dangerous backward pass and wrestled down. And a big stop.
Tackled by number 51, Bobby Heinman.
I didn't like that call, Rich.
Nah.
That'll back Vineland up.
You have what? 2nd and 5?
Loss of about 8 on the play. It'll
You
bring
got-
up 3rd and
You know, but hey, the coaches know what they're doing.
Yeah, but you're
No, it's
a
my,
few
my
yards away
philosophy.
from field goal range. The only thing I don't really like is that pass is so close to being backwards. I kind of like a deeper drop and the ball coming forward on that swing. Shelton to throw it again. Pressure from the top. He tucks it under. One guy to beat. He holds. And a nice defensive play as that was intended for Reyes. But Nate Johnson breaks it up.
Nate Johnson. That's going to bring up 4th down for the Wildcat defense. Let's hear it.
That's a heck of a play.
23-yard line. The wind has stopped just out of field goal range, would be a 39. So
It's a
fourth,
heck of a play that kid, young man made. I was going to call him a kid. That young man made a heck of a play.
and Shelton, when he's moving with it, I'm looking for him to run. He pulls it down. It was effective before that time, just a great defensive play. Tyreen Powell locked up with Byers at the bottom. Let's see if they go deep to Powell. Shelton back, and it's inside screen and not able to hold on his Powell.
Fastball's incomplete.
So St. Joe's bends but doesn't break, and they'll take over on offense, stopping the Vineland drive after it moves to the 19-yard line of St. Joe's. That would have been interesting. Could he have held on a few defenders there, a few blockers there? Not sure what would have happened.
Pretty good drive by Vineland to get down there.
Little confusion by the Vineland backs. Trying to get wide and not happen, and that's going to be another loss of yards on the carry. Byers bottled up once again. He's going to lose about 2. Kind of reminds me of one of the better years with Darren Ford at running back. Ford for -2, Ford for -3, Ford for -4, Ford for 75 yards. You know, and that's the risk you have, so the whole team needs to get there.
Yeah.
Use the sideline as your edge defender.
You know they're going to try to get one long.
And it's waggle pass, looking deep for a receiver. Complete and wrestled down. A beautiful pass by Schertel.
Well, did I call that one, Rich?
Boy, a beautiful
Just
pattern run by Lomax.
Had no underneath coverage. Got to have them linebackers cover underneath.
Yeah, and I also think we got to keep our eyes off the quarterback and cover our guys heading down the field. We're kind of trailing a little bit. 1st and 10 at the Vineland 45 for St. Joe's. Big target Keyshawn Griffin locked up with Gregory, now trying to get wide. The edge is blocked and contained. Nice job by the offense before Powell pushes him out. Great blocking up front.
Number 6 on the carry, Nate Johnson. He's going to pick up another Wildcats first down.
So just like the first drive by St. Joe's, or by Vineland, St. Joe's answers into Vineland territory.
Boy, you see a little step. Did you see St. Joe picking up their step?
It's Byers to the top. There's a hold. Decent gain on first down as Barry Turner was twisted and turned and spun in.
4 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 6.
Wide side right, Rich. A lot of running room to this side. And Byers is set up to take it wide.
And here he comes, Coach. Blitz. They run underneath it. Short gain on the play as
Carried by number 2, Ahmad
the blitz gets through.
I don't know.
Fortunately for St. Joe's, Byers didn't get that one.
Boy, somebody nailed him.
That was
Somebody
Delgado on the tackle, but Reyes in the backfield.
Somebody nailed him as he came across. That's what you do to that kind of offense. You tackle them. John Oberg told me that years ago. When they go in motion, you tackle them, whether they got the ball or not. After a while, they're looking for you.
5 minutes and 40 seconds in running. And Vineland jumps.
Here we go, Rich.
Flag on the play.
Malloy not able to hold on and comes across the line. I think the officials are saying enough for a first down, and it is.
St. Joe's first down.
Talk about mistakes, right, Rich? St. Joe started his drive at their own 29. And they're down now.
You know, Vineland's played a very tough schedule to get going early here. Give over the left side, nice yards there. Vineland with a tough schedule to take out to start the year. With number 1 Williamstown, Timber Creek, and now formerly number 1, now number 3 St. Joe's, and nothing as we creep down to about 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. You know, and Vineland's played tough, and fourth quarter's kind of given a little bit in the past. Yeah, and this is one you need. You need to get one of these games, and this would be a nice win for the Fighting Clan, but that defense needs to tighten up now as it's 2nd and 7. It's a fake to Byers. Pressure, hit, but dropped. Ross not able to hold on, but Chartel did a great job getting rid of it as he took a big hit, but he stepped forward, planted his foot.
That was a great play by the quarterback. Man, he had that Mick. Who was that, Rich, coming down on him? He just took his arm and threw it. A perfect throw, too. Well, St. Joe's in 4-down territory, Rich. So got 2 downs to make, what, 7 yards?
Let's see if they try to get 5 the easy way here. They give in the middle, and they're going to take a few of them yards, maybe half of it, setting up 4th down.
He didn't get much, Rich.
No, he got a little less than I thought. 4th and about 6.
Ball carried by number 3, Jay Byers. Picks up about a yard or 2. They'll bring up 4th down.
3 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Chartel in from the sideline with the play on a big 4th down here.
Rich, I can't tell. What is that, the 10-yard line?
Believe it's like the 18, Coach.
18?
Big wide receiver Griffin to the top. Chartel looks to throw it, runs draw to Byers.
Great
He's
call.
got an opening. Cuts inside the tackler, and Byers in the end zone for the Wildcats on the draw on 4th and 5 from the 18. Boy, Byers just put a move on that last defender and had him leave his feet. And get St. Joe's on the board first here with 3:30 to go in the third quarter.
Rich, that was a great call.
That time.
It reminds me of the call that Jim Horner made against us.
No, we don't talk about that one, Coach. That was your dumb nose guard that didn't stop quarterback draw. I wanted a sack. So here's the extra point. Could loom large. Snap is high, but kick is booted up and through. St. Joe's 7, Fighting Clan nothing, but we're getting the football.
Wow, that's a heck of a drive, Rich.
Converted on a 4th and 6.
71-yard drive. Took most of the third quarter. There's only 3:30 to go. Each team only had the ball once in that quarter. We need a spark, Rich. We need something to happen to spark us. We've kind of got into a, what kind of mode you want to call it?
Well, I know what you mean about a spark, and a big pass play is nice, but it's not the same as when you run through the gut of a defense
Right.
on 4th and 6. That's something that really builds.
That was a great call.
That I mentioned that time because that was the first drive. That was their 4th down try, and it was sniffed out at the line, but not that time. Tony and Broom back deep. This one's going to fall short, and it's going to be taken by Isaiah Blakely. He's going to make a nice return back to about the 38-yard line.
Ball carried by number 7 out to about the 39-yard line. Tackled there by number 2, Ahmad Ross.
Looks like Blakely a little banged up on the sideline. Don't know if he's far enough off the field. Looks like he's on the field. They may have to hold up play for a little bit.
Rich, that's Arthur, I think.
That's 7 Blakely,
Oh,
Coach.
7. It looks like a 1 from here.
You got to cheat and look at this monitor once in a while, Coach.
I thought it was my glasses, Rich. It's the dirty window.
Is that what it is? That's all the sausage flies you've been slapping across the window. And they're getting some of that sausage you haven't.
Oh,
325 Vineland right at the 40, it looks like. And Blakely back to his feet, limping a little bit, heading back with trainer Dave. Well, the offense has moved the ball. I don't know that they've had a 3 and out yet today, but they've got to move it into the end zone now. To throw. He's got Harold, but he's flushed out. Floats it, and boy, how does Reyes come up with that? On his feet, finally wrestled down right near the 20. Boy, there was a ton of traffic there. I wasn't sure if that was a wise throw, but Reyes with hands of steel pulls it in, but now he's a little gimpy getting up. Unfortunately, it's not his hand. It's like a lower leg. We can hope for a cramp, but Reyes has been on the field all game long. Defensively, offensively, just been one of the more important pieces as he brings some speed and ferocity, much like Delgado on defense that really have helped contain Byers till that last run up the gut. But Reyes is down now, but not before he picks up a big first down for Vineland.
I tell you, Sheldon's impressed me today, Rich, in this manner. He has thrown the ball well on the move. If I had to pick his passing, I think he's passed the ball better when he's on the move. He made a couple throws coming at us where I thought they had him boxed in, and he ran and he let it go, hit the receiver. Right then and there. Look at the play he makes here. He was on the move again.
And I think Shelton's thrown it tighter and harder into smaller, as they call, windows today than we've seen before. I mean, it was just tons of traffic, and he fitted in there very nicely, and as he's done on those little slants on the inside to Harold also.
Oh, I'm glad Reyes is up. Boy, that'd be a heck of a loss to Vineland.
So senior captain Reyes back on his feet, trying to walk it off, but a first down, Fighting Clan. At the 33-yard line.
Rich, we need him in the game.
Now they go no tight end. Put Jackson up. Here comes pressure from the top if they can get their slant in here. Watch that number 11 creep up. So they have man coverage on the 2 receivers. Shelton looks to throw. Now he tucks it under his arm. Comes up, picks up about 5 or 6, then pushed out maybe a little more as he's close to the first down marker. Going to be second and short, starting to rain again out there now, Coach.
It's okay, we're inside, Rich.
So second and 3.
You got 3 shots at 3 yards.
There's one. There's Blackwell with his first touch. He dives forward. Looks like he may have the first down. As we talked at halftime, Blackwell, that runner that you like to see between the tackles. Broom can do that too and can also get to the edge.
Boy, I like Blackwell. He just gives me the idea that he's just a good straight-ahead runner.
Somebody that can get hit and fall forward and get 2.5, 3 yards. Shelton quick out to Powell. Powell has it to the ground, gain of about 6. Boy, what an addition Tyrene Powell has been. As a freshman, medically uncleared to play football.
Yeah.
Worked tremendously hard. There's Blackwell again. Puts his shoulders pads down and drives forward. He's going to be maybe just a
All
little
right,
short of
that's
the
okay.
first.
He got 2 cracks at it.
Carried by number 33, Blackwell. Tackled by number 66, Ethan Hunt.
Look at that, Rich. You got
Up a
third and 1.
Let's hear it for this defense.
So 3rd and 1 as Vineland is
Let's go Wildcats.
now on the 11-yard line trying to answer the St. Joe score. It's Blackwell still in there alongside Shelton.
Oh, no.
And Shelton's going to take it himself. Looks like he has a first down. The oh no from coach was don't run wide, don't run
No,
wide, and Shelton kept it himself.
No. I thought he was going to pass it, Rich.
Oh, you thought that jet sweep was going to go through.
I don't
there.
care about the Jets. I just don't want him to turn it over here now.
Oh, I don't like the jet sweep on a 1 yard to go kind of thing when you definitely don't want to have a 4th down. 1st and goal at the 8. Fighting Clan on the move. We have 1:04 and running in the 3rd quarter. Rain coming down a little heavier.
Reyes is back.
That's a good call, Coach. That's nice to see Reyes back in at tight end. Vineland with a real tight formation. Blackwell nowhere to go that time.
That's okay.
He makes it back to the line.
See, it wasn't a straight ahead run, Rich. They try to angle him.
Scrimmage by number 51, Bobby Hindman, and number 52, Brad Lomax.
Yeah, I kind of think the blocking works a little better when you spread them out because Vineland showed the ability to get it out quick to their receivers. So you're going to pull some people out of that box in the middle. But now they're just showing man coverage at the bottom of the screen. See if Vineland tries to attack it. And Shelton's going to try to take it himself. He's to the 5, jumps across in the end zone for a touchdown. Vineland as Shelton on the quarterback draw scores for the Fighting Clan, and now here comes the big extra point. Henry Garton has taken over the place kicking duties and set a Vineland record a few weeks ago with a 36-yard field goal. I believe he's made his 5 extra points out of 6. The one he didn't was a kind of a high snap he had to hold up, but Garton to tie it here.
Tom, is that 3 seconds or 3 minutes? 3 seconds.
Camden Watts the holder. Good snap, it's down. Garton boots it, and it's through. Tie football game. Nice job by the long snap, the hold, and the kick as Vineland ties it up.
Pretty good drive, Rich.
Yeah, and
75 yards.
tell you, my favorite play was that bullet whistled right into Reyes in a ton of traffic with great coverage. That
Again, Sheldon is dangerous on the move. You just saw him there.
the junior quarterback in his first starting season has really added a dimension to Vineland. Of course, we had the running quarterback and one of the best, if not the best in school history, in Isaiah Pacheco. We usually had a big back near him and Naheem Anderson, both playing at Rutgers now. But Shelton, you can't just sit back and play run and quarterback draw. Coach Volpe and Russo really mixing up pass and run and not letting the defense pin their earbacks and go after either one. You're kind of doomed if you blitz because half the time the ball's coming out the second he catches it, and you're just pulling people out of coverage.
Well, what do we get on this? A squib or a kick?
We're going to kick it to about the 30. Boop. To the 31. And a quick tackle on the play. Looks like Blakely, nice to see him back in there. Blakely makes a quick tackle.
St. Joe's will take over.
St. Joe's at their 36-yard line. St. Joe's with the football, and that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. So both teams score in this one. Both teams make their extra points. This Vineland football team, a team of almost 3-point loss with a 14-point comeback, 17-14 to the Group 5 defending champs Lenape. Fourth quarter, you're attempting a field goal to tie it with number 1 ranked Williamstown. Timber Creek, you have the ball in your hands with a chance to take the lead with under a minute and a half to go in the ball game. And now you're with a very powerful, formerly number 1, now number 3 St. Joe's team. But you've got to come up with a win in one of these. You're also going to be defending with Byers having his second best run of the game. The rest he's been bottled up, but Byers on that last drive on 4th and 6.
Rich.
He picks up the touchdown.
Byers is the quarterback. See him?
Nice job, Coach. It's a little Wildcat from the Wildcats.
Yeah.
They try to go short side. They pick up some decent blocking on it. Going to get a nice gain. Outstanding blocking on the edge by St. Joe's. Gain of about 2. That's what happens when you attack that short side. You lose a couple
I wonder if
yards.
something happened to their quarterback. Watching the film, I didn't see Byers at quarterback at all last week.
Well, nobody on the trainer's bench over here. Byers is going to give and trying to get through, but Rivers able to hold on. Now you're getting some life from that Vineland defense. Blackwell comes up to help it out.
I wonder if Byers can throw the ball, Rich.
It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 7.
I bet you he can keep it, Coach.
3rd and 6.
So big 3rd down here for the Fighting Clan. If they can hold St. Joe's, they should be getting the ball back. St. Joe's is right on their own 40-yard line. Defensive line switches around. Boy, and it's a give to the top. Coming through, making a hit, and squirting forward before he's out of bounds. Outstanding job on the play by Barry Turner, who turns in another fine performance as he's just delivered game after game since he's been in there. He fought through 2 blockers to get in there. So 4th down.
Rich, I like the fact that Byers is a quarterback. That takes him away from his running ability.
Yeah, I also liked when he handed it off.
Yeah. I wonder if the young man's okay. I don't see him. Am I missing him, Rich, on the sideline?
There's only one number 7 on the sideline, and that's not him.
Huh.
Powell back to. It's a
All right.
high kick.
Get away.
Powell moves away from it.
Get away.
Not much of a roll, and Vineland's going to take over right at their own 30-yard line. 3 and out by the Fighting Clan defense. Answers the test of St. Joe's. Now the offense back to it with just under 11 minutes to go in the ball game.
Rich, you gave me some great information at halftime. Coach Russo on the punts have told the punt return men not to touch the ball. And, hey, that's a good coaching move if that's what you're worried about. We fumbled the ball.
Hey, you know, I feel the same way. If a team's willing to kick it to me, I don't want to try to block it and hit anybody. Just give me the football and trust in your offense, and that's what Vineland's done. A sideline warning, so we'll get to play. No penalty on the first one.
Who's got a sideline warning?
St. Joe's, just for encroachment on the field,
Oh,
not arguing or anything. It's where you have your freshman coaches walk in with their shoulders out, making sure everybody's back. 1st and 10 Fighting Clan, still a light drizzle on the field. Shelton has, but Powell is held and molested up the sideline.
Byers did a nice job. Powell tried to hook him and go. And Byers never pulled.
That was defensive holding every step of that route, Coach.
Uh-oh. You don't want them to start throwing flags now unless they're for us.
Well, that is, and we also had a hold on the touchdown run on Turner. Just a little overthrown by Reyes. Would have been good enough for the first down. Now 3rd down and 10.
Attempted for Reyes. Defended on a play by number 6, Nate Johnson.
And Reyes still down. It's a little late in the season for all these cramps. Let's hope that's all it is for Reyes.
You can collect your winnings if you have the winning ticket. That's 230-798. Your winnings.
Boy, the defense does the job. Holds St. Joe's to a 3 and out. Now St. Joe's trying to answer the same thing. Jason Schertle, the quarterback, is in on defense. Coach.
Oh, he's in?
Yes.
Oh.
Schertle.
Then it was just a personnel move. Now, to me, this is a bonus for St. Joe. These breaking the action, when you have a team that 9 out of 11 are going both ways, it gives them a good rest.
Oh, I agree, Coach. And also hurts Vineland on a big 3rd down to be without one of their receivers that it takes a village to bring them down.
Yeah.
Great shots from our crew today that are getting a little rained on out there. Thank you once again to our crew, Tanner Bushman, crew chiefs Doug Diola and Ryan Steinbrown, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masuri, the school district's public information officer. Don't forget, 6 o'clock Sunday, 7 o'clock Monday, Comcast, Channel 9, Verizon, Fios 41, and anytime on, as Coach calls it, the YouTube. VPS, hit that spacebar broadcasting. Check out this action or any other football action or the goings-on in Vineland. Ta-da, Coach. Big 3rd down for the Fighting Clan. St. Joe's crowd on their feet. 3rd and 10, Shelton in the shotgun. He throws a quick slant and bumped off his pattern. Well, I guess that's allowed today, so we need to do that too, Coach.
Yeah.
4th down, time to kick.
Brings up a 4th down for the Vineland Fighting Clan.
Believe that's the first 3 and out for Vineland. So they threw 2 incompletions, so we're at 10:44.
To receive for the Wildcats is number 3, Jada Byers.
So St. Joe's going to have great field positioning after this.
Yeah.
Previous punts have all been angled out of bounds. Snell to kick from the back and the snap. Low snap, Snell digs it up and puts a boot to it. It's going to go over Byers' head. Come down right about the 24 where Byers is going to take a shot at it. Gets turned back in, but still on his feet. Now gets an edge to the top of the screen. Outruns the defense. Makes a move on the inside, still on his feet. He's got Snell to beat, and Snell pushes him out of bounds.
And a big return for
An outstanding return by Byers. The initial containment turned him in, but Snell outkicked his coverage with that boot. Unfortunately, Snell able to knock Byers out of bounds as he was heading for the end zone. Talk about a punter having to tackle the best back in South Jersey. Snell uses that sideline and makes the play to give the defense a chance to hold here.
First and 10 from the 31-yard line.
There's the give over the left side and an opening. Turning free Heading to the end zone goes Byers.
And into the end zone for a touchdown.
Byers just that quick. He returns one for a lot of yards and then takes it in from the 30 for the score to put St. Joe's Wildcats back on top, 13-7, waiting for the extra point. Well, 2 plays. Byers has the football, and they pick up 80 yards in those 2 plays, Coach.
Yeah.
Monticelli to kick. Snaps down, kicks, oh! And
Oh.
no good. He got underneath that one.
So with 10:14 left to go in the game.
And number 3 there, Byers.
Scores.
He's taking over right now. 2 big plays, and that's what
St. Joe
players
Wildcats
do.
13.
As Byers picks his way through for a score after returning the ball about 60 yards. So Vineland's offense needs to respond here. Still plenty of time, 10-14. But the offense's last drive was their quickest, going 3 and out.
Got to establish some kind of running game to get them off our back. You know, Byers hasn't been off the field yet, Rich. He's also on the kickoff team.
Byers, the junior, at 5'7", 160. Vineland's done a nice job on one of South Jersey's best. It's a special teams return and 3 carries that went fairly big, but they've stopped him for losses about as many as he's had the big ones. But when St. Joe's needed it, it was Byers. Delivers for the Wildcats.
Move up. We're too deep, Rich.
Yeah, I'd move that Lathan Kent line up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Heading straight up the middle with some space. There goes Tony. He cuts to the inside, dodges to the out. Byers makes the tackle, 3-on-3. And Vineland in St. Joe's territory. Nice return by Tony.
Jonathan Tony Jr. tackled on the play.
Tony, the sophomore running back.
The 1st and 10 Vineland.
So great starting field position.
On the St. Joe's 43-yard line.
Vineland looking to answer. St. Joe's missed their extra point. Arthur alongside Shelton. Arthur comes out wide. Shelton delivers in the middle to Tony, but he's hit right away, but not before he picks up about 19 on the play. Vineland now set up.
Number 6, Nick Johnson.
You know who set that up, Rich?
Vineland first down.
The back picked up the blitzer. That is fantastic. That kid from the outside blitzed, and the back picked him up. And I think it was
Arthur in the
Arthur.
backfield to start that one. And he kind of
Great
came
play.
down low. I thought they were going to hit them with that swing pass. 1st and 10 Vineland. Shelton rolls, takes it himself, picks his way through the middle, and dives forward, picks up about 3 or 4.
Carried by number
Tell you what, Shelton's able to turn his shoulders whichever way they need to be to find room to fall forward.
Brad Lomax.
Boy, the running that Shelton does as a quarterback, and I don't just mean when he carries, when he moves the pocket, when he's rolling,
you know what's
there's
helped,
really no way he could play defense the amount of running he's doing.
you know what's helped Sheldon too? Going one way.
Exactly. He couldn't possibly do both with the amount of miles he puts on during a football game. Conrad Jackson in at tight end. Shelton to throw. Pressure. Floats it out, but incomplete. Intended for Blackwell.
You're in 2-down territory, Rich. It doesn't matter. You got 2 downs to get what, 8 yards?
Yeah, short 8.
Give St. Joe a dose of their own medicine. Run the draw.
Blackwell now alongside of Shelton. I think you're giving me hand signals while you're swatting these flies away. 8:50 on the clock. Shelton to throw. He has Harold, but he has pressure. And he's going to be wrestled out of bounds. Right at the back of the line of scrimmage. So clock stops 8:40. Vineland down 6. And they're faced with a 4th and 8.
Bring up 4th down. And a long 8. Let's hear it for the St. Joe Wildcats defense. Make some noise.
So Nazir Broom has a secret that he needs to tell. And he tells Powell as Powell goes to the top of the screen.
Let him hear you out there.
Vineland needs to get this off as they have 5 seconds. They may have to burn a timeout here. 4, 3, take the timeout, coach. Timeout. And they get the timeout in. Play took a little long to develop. There's a little miscommunication. That hasn't happened much this year. Big improvement over previous years, but some confusion on a big play. You want to make sure you get it right. Well, what are you running, Coach?
Well, seeing this happen, I would have Sheldon sprint left and hit a receiver coming across the middle. Either Powell, he's done a really good job today, or who's the other kid that made that great catch? 4.
Harold has a nice one. See if Reyes makes it back on the field.
You still got plenty of time in the game, Rich. You got 8:40. If you don't make it, you stop them, you still get the ball back in plenty of time.
So let's take a look at these wide receivers. It's Comrade Jackson and Otis Harold to the bottom. Shelton stands alongside Broom. Tyreen Powell to the top and Tony in the slot on the top. 4 receivers, 1 running back, and Shelton. Shelton to throw, floats it high, tipped, and incomplete, intended for Otis Harold.
Broken up by number 3, Jada Byers. That's a turnover on down.
So I like that, Rich.
Way to go out there, Wildcat fans.
You gotta slant somebody.
10, St. Joe.
Run a post. Run a post.
And even if you don't throw it to him, pull the crowd away from where you're going. There's 2 receivers kind of close to each other at the end of that play.
That's okay.
Now St. Joe's with the 6-point lead. They're going to look to try to grind this out.
Oh, Byers
As
is out at
Shurtell
quarterback.
comes back
Rich.
in at quarterback.
Yeah. I'd rather see him at quarterback.
Last time they started out heading to the short side. This time they go to the top, outrunning the defense until the end line. Only a gain of about 1, and for some reason they're signaling keep the clock moving. He's in bounds. I'm not sure of that. So 2nd and 9.
Now, see, fool me. I thought he gained some yards.
I thought he was going to gain some yards for
But
sure.
they strung it out pretty good. That's how you play that. Box him in, string him out.
So 2nd and 9. 7 minutes, 55 seconds to go in this one. Vineland's defense employed one more time to make a stop and let the offense get it back. Byers in motion. Byers with the ball. Cuts to the inside. hit, stays on his feet before he's drugged down, picks up about 3 or 4.
Ball carried by number 3, Jada Byers.
Turner and Powell with some help on that stop, but Byers, strong run and falls forward for a nice gain.
Third down and 3.
I think Shurtell's saying, don't jump, don't jump. We're going to get him to jump and get an easy one here. You got to be heads up on that defensive line. Bachman in a defensive tackle at the top. Reyes back in. It looks like he's going to put some pressure on. They run counter and tackled for no gain on the play by Reyes. And it's Malloy turning it back into Reyes. So 4th down. St. Joe's will be sending the punt team in on 4th and 3.
Byers with no gain on the play. That'll bring up 4th down.
So it appears the Vineland offense will be getting it back with about 6 minutes to go in the ball game, just down 6 points.
Okay.
Back to punt for St. Joe's is number 51, Bobby Hyndman. Back
True to
receive,
form, let it hit, Rich.
Fighting Clan is number 22, Tyreen Powell.
Maybe this late in the game you go get it, Tyreen.
Nah. That's good. Let him run.
So Vineland takes over at the 32-yard line. 5:55 on the clock.
Great punt by Bobby Hyndman. Vineland will start out at their own 32-yard line.
It's the 5th time we've had the ball, Rich. We moved it. We only scored once. That was Sheldon on a quarterback draw from the 9. But we moved the ball. We just moved the ball to their 28 in that stop.
Let's hear it for your defense out there.
St. Joe's over Millville earlier in the year, 34-6. Now Vineland trying to get the W here. The offense with the football. And it's low, and it's on the ground, and it's loose, but St. Joe says they have it.
There's a fumble on the snap, and St. Joe's recovers.
And St. Joe's recovers. First turnover for Vineland.
79, Wisdom Porsche.
Wow.
The low snap just not able to be picked off the ground. And St. Joe's in great field position here at the 30.
St. Joe's from the Vineland 30-yard line.
Boy, that hurts. That hurts, Rich.
Give to Byers over the top. He outruns the first couple guys, makes a spin move. Oh, and dips his head to the inside. Gregory trying to stop him. That's not going to happen. Byers in the end zone just that quick for St. Joe's.
Touchdown!
35 yards, Rich. 30 yards, I'm sorry.
Geez, that head fake he puts on as he's approaching the 15-yard line and then just bounces back. That's why he has so many yards. It's almost impossible in an open field to bring him down. Nifty moves, and he's been patient. He's been bottled up most of the day, but give him that little bit of daylight, and that's why he's one of South Jersey's best.
Where they hurting us, Rich? Outside, right?
Yeah, and of course that turnover, Coach.
Oh, that hurt.
Well, they're going to try to go for 2 to go up. Shurtell to throw it and complete.
And the two-point attempt is good. Jaden Shurtell to number 8, Chase Lomax.
That's going to make it 21-7. Boy, one play after the turnover. Byers takes it in. And sadly, we've seen this before, the late fourth quarter collapsing. You look at a scoreboard and you're like, they handled them. And this has been an outstanding, evenly contested game. But St. Joe's just slowly pulling away with the big plays, especially off the turnover. So still some time on the clock. Vineland needs to move quickly. Backup quarterback Caleb Gandy's may have come down there. They're trying to see if Blakely can get it at the 25. We'll know that the deep guys will be involved, and it's Squibb past Gandy. Blakely lets it go back to Broom. Broom jogs up, looking for an opening to explode through. Not there. Defended well. Vineland takes over at the 36-yard line. And a flag, it looks like, hit the field at the end of that one.
By a whole host of Wildcats. Ball is down at the Vineland 30-yard line, 31-yard line. That's the 37-yard line.
So no change here on the flag, as it'll be 1st and 10 Vineland at the 37-yard line.
No, they got 15 yards against them, Rich.
Looked like there was a holding call in Vineland, which was declined.
Must have been against both teams.
Going both ways.
So no change in where there. You should trust me a little more, Coach. All right, Fighting Clan, let's get it back in a hurry here. Thrown behind, and it's going to be called incomplete. Thrown behind Blackwell. Fortunately, not a backward pass and a loss of yards.
They'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Clan.
5:26 with the clock stopped. Boy, what a difference a minute and a half makes.
Whoa.
Vineland with the ball. 1st and 10 around their own 30, down 6 points after picking up 4 first downs on their last drive. But the turnover and the electric run by Byers put St. Joe's up by 2 scores. Second and 10. Shelton throws. Harold makes the catch right at the first down marker. Looks like they're going to give him enough for the first down.
I don't think so, Rich. Oh, yeah, they did. How about that? From my angle, it looked like he was short.
I leaned my head all the way to the left up here, and we had it by 8 yards. I had to bring it back straight. You ever catch yourself leaning on it? 1st and 10 Vineland, 5:09 and running.
Bad pass.
Little underthrown there. As we mentioned earlier, it's misting and raining. You've got a quarterback trying to grab a wet football, spin it into his fingers and get it out quickly, and Shelton's done well with that earlier, but that time just not able to get the handle on it, as Byers was in good coverage on Powell. And the mismatch with Powell and Byers is the height. Try to get that thing up in the air a little bit. Shelton the throw. He looks over the middle. Tipped and incomplete. Tony not able to hold on. It's 3rd and 10 with 4:50 on the clock.
Nearly intercepted on the deflection by number 11, Keyshawn Griffin. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. Let's hear it for this defense.
That's a shame. Sheldon threw that ball well on that one.
So, of course, 2 down situation for Vineland, but they've got to get in the end zone twice. Stop St. Joe's once. They need to pick up the pace a little bit here. Shelton Owl's ready. They just get it off. Nice coverage on the play by St. Joe's. There's Naheem L.
Harold, broken up by number 7, Jaden Shurtell.
Make that shirt tell. I
That'll bring up
quickly
4th
looked down
down.
and Naheem L. is 5'5", and that certainly wasn't him. So 4th down for Vineland.
Let's hear you, Wildcat
4:46.
fans.
We need a post of some kind, Rich.
St. Joe's bringing heat. Now they drop. Shelton to throw it. Pressured. Steps up. Spins, stays on his feet, comes forward, and he's going to be short of the 1st down. Shelton bought all the time he could to find a receiver. Shurtell in great coverage on Otis Harold down the field, and Vineland's going to turn it over on downs.
Quarterback keeper, number 10, Shelton, that he is held short of the 1st down. That'll be 1st down on turnover on downs. Wildcat ball at their own 45-yard line. Way to go, D.
So St. Joe's takes back over. They just want to take some time off this clock, look for them to keep it on the ground. Feed it to Byers. Hope he busts another one. The Vineland defense needs to make tackles. This is how games get out of reach when you're trying to strip a ball or hold them up. You certainly don't want to play around tackling number 3. To pass. Pressure by Rivers. Reyes trying to get an angle and running out of bounds with it is Shurtell. .427.
Boy, that surprised me, Rich.
I think they're trying to surprise Vineland too, because it certainly surprised me.
Ball kept by number 7, Jaden Shurtell. Going to lose about 4.5 yards on that.
Especially when Shurtell doesn't just slide down inbounds when you get to there. Yeah, once again, the defense set up in poor field position on that last score off the turnover.
Oh,
And they've just done an outstanding job most of the day. And St. Joe's will take a timeout as the play clock's running down. We have that timeout. Next week, Coach, we're heading to Rancocas Valley for a 7 o'clock start on Friday.
yep. That's another tough loss for Vineland. That's what? 3 out of 4 they had a chance to win.
Yeah, and that's, with the turnover you had last year in players, you got to learn how to win, and that's something that St. Joe's has been doing for years.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing how to close out games, really disciplined players, outstanding coaching staff. Vineland still a baby in that process. West Deptford comes to St. Joe's for a 12 noon start next weekend on Saturday.
They're pretty tough, too, West Deptford.
Well, the score looked good. It's the opposite of here. The score looked good, but West Deptford, I think, scored the last 14 or 16 points to tighten it up. And Vineland, we kind of do the opposite. You walk away and you're like, they had that one.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you can say it about 3 games, but, in the fourth quarter, you're in a one-possession game sometimes with the football.
He's under center, Rich.
So give to the top to Byers, cuts to the middle. Reyes down low, makes the tackle with help from Powell. The one thing that went a little better today than I had hoped, Coach, was we talk about good offensive lines. Most people will say this is the best offensive line in South Jersey, and that defensive front has shut anything down in the middle throughout the game, including the linebackers, done an outstanding job.
47-yard line.
So third down now. And to throw is Shertel. Floats it deep, and it's going to go over the head of his intended receiver, Lomax.
Ball is incomplete, intended for number 8, Chase Lomax. He's going to bring up a 4th down and 8 for the Wildcats.
So Vineland will be getting the football back. 3:35 on the clock. Got a bunch of tired football players on both sides. These teams have gone at it hard today. Been an outstanding football game. With St. Joe's creeping away here in the fourth quarter.
One body Hyman. Back deep for Vineland, number 34.
Nazir Broom trying to drift back a little bit so he may be able to see it. And that's high. It's going to roll down to the 28-yard line before it's downed on the play by Lomax. And by so Vineland with the ball down, 2 scores, 3:25 on the clock.
Take over at their own 24-yard line. 3 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the game.
Did you see Williams out there today, Rich?
Williams,
56.
Delgado, yes.
Oh, you did?
Tipped and incomplete. Byers and Tony locked up, but that's tipped up at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10.
Scrimmage. Defended on the play by number 3, Jada Byers. Going to bring up 2nd down and 10. Let's make some noise for that Wildcat defense.
3:22 on the clock. Shelton floats it to Tony, who pulls it in, but then can't hold on as he hits the ground. That's going to go incomplete. Outstanding try by Tony. He pulls it in and turns, and the ground just pops it loose.
A 3rd down and 10.
Well, I'm not sure we're in four-town territory here.
Not sure you want to punt it back to Byers either.
Wildcat defense.
We're caught between hard rocks.
See if Jackson gets involved. He's on the bottom with the pink sleeves, number 81. Shelton with a straight drop, floats it out to Arthur. Tries to make a move, and he's going to be hit out of bounds. And late, as the pink flag hits, that's going to give Vineland a 1st down.
Pass complete to number 1, Anthony Arthur. He's forced out of bounds by number 2, Ahmad Ross, and number 7, Jaden Shertel, but there is a flag on.
I don't think I've ever seen a pink flag before. I
No,
know it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and
oh,
there's
is
a lot
that
of
what it
pink
is?
on the field. But
So I was wrong about yellow flags.
no, the one ref had a yellow one that he dropped on those offsetting penalties or whatever that mess was that we started where we were supposed to. So 1st down, Vineland, 3:10 to go, down 2 scores.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Vineland will have a 1st down.
Tony and Harold down low. Shelton to throw, and it's a screen, and it's thrown short. It's making a break on that one was Kashawn Griffin.
Pressure by number 8, Chase Lomax, and that pass falls incomplete, bringing up a second down and
Well, I
10.
definitely think today we've seen a record for passing attempts by Shelton. He's number 1 and 2 in the books now.
How many times do you think he's thrown today, Rich? 25?
I would say at least it was 15 in the first half. I think we're over 15 in this half. So 2nd and 10. Reyes alone at the top of the screen. Shelton back, floats it. This time it's delivered in stride to Arthur, who dives forward. Close to a first down. I think he's going to be about a yard short. 2:55 and counting. Vineland ready quickly. 2:37.
Oh, no.
Shelton, nowhere to go. Under pressure, pulls away. Makes a move to the inside and is brought down after a first down. Vineland will get quickly back up on the ball. And not sure what the, oh, we have a player down behind the play. So Vineland has a player down back behind the play on their own side of the field at the 47-yard line. Well, we have this timeout. We'd like to once again thank our crew today who've been out in the misty rain. Tanner Bushman, Doug Diola, crew chiefs Doug Diola, Ryan Steinbron, executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district public information officer.
Rich, that Delgado young man, is he the one that transferred from Delsey?
Yes, Coach. I'm not sure where he transferred from. I know he transferred in, but I'm not
Right.
100% where. I believe it was Delsey.
Yeah.
And injured Tall Kennedy transferred from here, but he's not. It's his 4th week in a row out.
What positions he play with?
It's a linebacker.
Is he?
And Brandon Roldan, the tackle, is getting up. And he's gingerly heading to the sideline.
He played a very good game today. That front 5 at times looked terrific. Pass blocking.
Let's hear it for your Wildcat defense.
Now Vineland on the short side of the field. Now they're going to switch it back as Arthur goes in the backfield. Shelton says no, get over there. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. 2:27 to go. And they stop it to have the clock start running. And now the clock runs. Let's get up and run the play, guys. You know what it was. And Vineland ready. Blitz. Dutra tries to knock it out, and it's dumped over the middle, incomplete, intended for Tony. 2:10 on the clock, 2nd and 10 Fighting Clan.
Pressure by number 52, Brad Lomax, number 79, Wisdom Quarshie, and number 53, Sean Morris. 2nd down and 10. Let 'em hear
Vineland can
ya.
take their time here with 2:10 on the clock, but it is stopped after the incompletion. DeMarcus Rivers in at offensive tackle. He's a starting defensive tackle, so he's being let known what he needs to do. And Shelton's going to be hit and dropped for a sack
Play by number 52, Brad
with 2 minutes in
Lomax.
running. Lomax continues his strong game.
That's why you don't leave him naked back here, Rich.
It's nice to have a back in with him.
Man of protection.
Certainly don't need Shelton beat up in this situation. Shelton under pressure, fires it, incomplete, as he has to backpedal with tons of Wildcats coming at him.
That's going to bring up a 4th down.
So 4th down, 1:25 on the clock. 4th and long, 4th and 22 or 21.
Let's let them have it out there.
I don't think Vineland's going to be able to get this play off. Five, 4, 3, and they snap it. Floating it for Powell. Intercepted by Byers, who pitches back. Now trying to head up the sideline before knocked out of bounds. On the play is Nate Johnson. Byers picks it. He's held and drops it back to Johnson, who returns it. So Vineland defense back on the field. St. Joe's has 52 seconds to kill off. They're up 21-7. Shurtell back in at quarterback. Looks like they're just going to kneel on it here. And Shurtell does just that. As the final seconds are going to be worked off the clock with one more, possibly 2 kneel downs, Coach. Well, another game that almost was. Vineland was valiant in their effort. But St. Joe's pulls away in the 4th quarter. So another game that was tighter than the score for quite a while. Vineland had the ball back down 6, but it was a turnover on the first play. And then a play later, Byers in the end zone. Byers in that second half, massive kick return and runs the next one in. Vineland did a pretty good job, but you can't expect to be able to hold a back like Byers and an offense like St. Joe's down for very long, as we're at 6-5-4. Vineland's going to drop to 2-4. The Wildcats improved to 5-1. Coach, what happened in that second half?
Well, Rich, we started the second half when Vineland had the ball. They punted. St. Joe started on their own 29-yard line. A 71-yard drive where they had 4th and 6 at our 18 and ran a great play, a draw play. The score at the 3:30 mark of the 3rd quarter, they went up 7-0. We get the ball back, Rich. We go to 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. Sheldon runs a quarterback draw. With 3 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, Darton's kick is good. We got 7-7. St. Joe gets the ball, punts. The next 2 possessions by Vineland, nothing happened. St. Joe got the ball on 2 great Byers plays. A return punt and then a 31-yard run at the 10-14 mark. The kick was no good. We get the ball, and we fumble on our own 32-yard line. Rich, that was the really deciding blow. Byers runs it in from 30 yards out. St. Joe goes up 19-7, goes for 2 points, makes it 21-7, and the rest of the quarter was back and forth. We got intercepted, and St. Joe took a knee, and the final score is 21-7. Before I sign this off, Rich, give me your analysis.
Well, Coach, I know that next week we have another tough game in Rancocas Valley. Was pretty impressed with Vineland's effort today. The scoreboard doesn't show it, but nothing at half. 7-7 hit in the fourth quarter, and St. Joe's, with their tradition, their history, and their experience, had the edge in that department. And Jada Byers just was held in check, but boom, the punt. Boom, the big run off the fumble. You can't expect to hold a back like that in check all game long. Vineland's defense should be proud of themselves, what they did, set up with a short field. And I'm going to take us out of this one tonight, Coach, because we have Vineland at Rancocas, and you can catch that live on YouTube. We'll be broadcasting at 7. Watch a replay of this on the big screen. Sunday at 6, Monday at 7. And make sure not just to thank, but to go visit our sponsors. Coach, thank you very much. For Coach Parentazzi, this is Rich Scarpa, and thanks to all of our sponsors.
The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football team this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caters, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, The Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, Technid Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richling Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Bondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating and Cooling,
Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating.
The Vineland High School football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season.